Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel English Literature. Today we will talk about Milan Kundera and his famous novel The Lightness of Being. Milan Kundera was born in 1929 April in Czechoslovakia. He is a towering pain in 20th century literature. His first novel was A Joke. It was published in 1961 in English because Czech government did not give permission to publish it. It faced severe censorship issues. When in 1968 Russia took control over Prague, Kundera's books were banned and even he lost his job as a teacher. In 1975, Kundera immigrated to France and joined as a professor. In 1979, Czech government cancelled his citizenship. In 1981, he became French citizen. The Unbearable Lightness of Being that we today will discuss is a 1984 novel by Milan Kundera that secured his seat in the world literature. It was written at the backdrop of 1968 Prague Spring. Milan Kundera himself spent a significant part of his life in Prague as a professor of Prague's Academy of Performing Arts. The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera was written originally in the Czech language but published first in French in 1984 and then in Czech the next year. The novel is also adapted in a film by Philip Kaufman, an American film director and screenwriter. I have watched the movie. You can also watch it. It is available in YouTube. We constantly rewrite our own biographies. But one thing I want to intervene here, that I always like that movies are not at the same grade as the writings, as the literary pieces. Whenever a literary piece is made into film or adapted into film, I find I prefer the text most than its screen. And it is true for many of the novels. It is my personal choice anyway. Now, we constantly rewrite our own biographies. It is true. In our writing, we often reflect whatever we think. Our life, our thought, our idealism, they get reflected in our writing. So when Milan Kundera said this line that we constantly rewrite our own biographies, it is certainly true. The protagonist of this novel, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, is Thomas. This is somewhat the self-portrayal of Kundera himself in their introspection and attitude towards life. The binary contrast of lightness and weight. The unbearable lightness of being begins with the philosophical idea of Nietzsche. So what Nietzsche's ideologies? The eternal return and the contradictory lingering between lightness and the weight of life. What Nietzsche said that we return recurrently, again and again. Everything in our life happens an infinite number of times, and this return makes our life heavy. Everything recurs as we once experienced it, and that the recurrence itself recurs ad infinitum. What does this mad myth signify? The platitudinous nature of this eternal return is emphasized by the example of Robespierre. And I like this example myself. There is an infinite difference between a Robespierre who occurs only once in history and Robespierre who eternally returns, chopping off French heads. You know the guillotine and Robespierre, but if Robespierre again and again appeared in history, then we should not admire. But even if Robespierre arrives one time and even he invented the guillotine and killed so many people, even we admire Robespierre for his guillotine and remember him for his one-time appearance. That is the main theme of the speech. I am just fascinated with the interplay of thoughts that Robespierre and its not recurring appearance in the history. I don't like him to recur. Again, I don't like again to reappearance of Hitler anyway. This class of binary opposition recounts throughout the novel through the characters and their way of living. Thomas is the character of the novel who oscillates between the lightness and weight. The theme that is recurrently portrayed in this novel through the character is the lightness and the weight. Lightness versus weight. Some characters are in support of lightness and they prefers the lightness of their existence. And some characters prefer the lightness, not lightness, but weight. And their life became heavy for them. Okay, when Tereza left him, at first he felt a sweet lightness of being rise up to him out of the depths of the future. Tereza, who is Tereza? Tereza is the lady with whom he falls in love. Actually, Thomas is a character who cannot fall in love with a lady. He does not support the theme of love in relationship. He feels that love makes a relationship heavy. But in spite of that, he falls in love with Tereza and he misses Tereza severely. But when Tereza leaves him, he feels a lightness within him. But within 2 days, he was hit by a weight, the likes of which he had never known. So in Thomas, there is a contradiction of lightness and weight. He feels that relation, love, commitment, all these are heavy. And he does not want to entangle himself in this critical heaviness of life. Rather, he prefers the lightness of sex. Don't love. Just keep relationship just for the sex. But even after that reason, he falls in love with Tereza. He misses Tereza. And that's why he goes to Tereza. He feels there is nothing heavier than compassion. Not even one's own pain weighs so heavy as the pain one feels with someone. So compassion, sympathy, all these are heavy for Thomas. But he is in an oscillation. He is in a dithering situation. On the one part of his heart, he feels that he must not be engulfed, or entwined with any relationship that will be heavy for him. But again, he feels that he wants to live with Teresa, and so they get married. The story. We meet Thomas plunged. The story begins where the story begins. We meet Thomas plunged in deep contemplation, whether to call back Teresa or not. He's confused with the idea of whether his feelings for her is real or not. He had already divorced his first wife, and he has so many mistresses with whom he does not keep any regular or serious relationship. No commitment. Just come, enjoy some time, and then go away. But for Teresa, he feels something. But this feeling makes her confused whether it is love or not. A sudden exuberance of emotion. He himself is confused with himself. Was it simply the hysteria of a man who, ever deep down of his inaptitude for love, felt the self-deluding need to stimulate it? This line is very important. It focuses on the character of Thomas, the dithering, confused, addled, baffled heart of Thomas, a womanizer. Now, looking out over the courtyard at the dirty walls, he realized he had no idea whether it is hysteria or love. Thomas is a womanizer by the heart. Only vocation in life is to explore his own sexuality through different women. He believes in the theory of lightness in life and in relation. He feels women's idiosyncrasies can only be perceived through sex, and every woman is different and unique in their intimate relationships. And he wants to enjoy that uniqueness of every woman character he meets. For him, love and sex are two different entities. They are not synonymous. They belong to two opposite fenced areas. And for Tereza, love and sex mean same thing. The person I will love, I will do sex. But for Thomas, love is totally different from the word sex. And they are two totally bipolar, opposite pole of his theory, of his world. That's the clash between not only love and sex, that is the clash between Thomas and Tereza. They love each other. Thomas loves Teresa and Teresa also loves Thomas. But their theory mismatches here in their concept. So, his love for Teresa is distinguished from his clandestine quest with other women as well as for Sabina. Who is Sabina? Sabina is Thomas's one of the mistresses. Teresa is a simple lady who falls in deep love and dependence on Thomas. He comes to Prague to meet him and stay in his room. That is totally out of the norm for Thomas because Thomas never allows any woman to stay in his room after midnight. Okay, he did not want world to get out that Teresa, he did not want world to get out that Teresa was sleeping at his place, spending the night together, was the corpus delicti of love. Out of the rule, illegal, of his love theory. Anyway, but for the first time, he feels comfortable and easy with Teresa. He spends his week sharing his bed with her. And it seems too natural and loving for him the way Teresa uses to clutch his hands tightly in her sleep, not to let him go. The tussle. Teresa does not want Thomas to let go, and Thomas wants to go. So when Teresa leaves him, he feels something for her. She seemed a child to him, a child someone had put in a burlesque basket daubed with peach and sent downstream for Thomas to fetch at the riverbank of his bed. This just reminds me the story of ancient Rome, the story of Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers who were just thrown into the sea and carried out in the water in a basket and finally rescued by some hunters, a hunter family. So Thomas also feels like that Teresa is like such a child. Thomas is a widower with a son whom his wife never allowed to meet him with lame excuses. Every time Thomas planned to meet his son, that time or that week, his wife just makes an excuse and does not allow his son to meet his father. So this has disturbed Thomas so much, and after this repeated incident, he gets irritated and decides he would be scrupulous about paying support. He feels that his wife only wants costly gifts in return so that she will permit her son to meet his father. So Thomas decided that he would be scrupulous about paying support. He no longer paid any attention to his son and wife. And he always avoids commitment. I already told. He has a tremendous fear of commitment. For him, commitment towards a particular relationship means losing the power of womanizing. So there is the power thing. The power, Thomas also, every character wants power. Teresa wants power over Thomas. Thomas at the same time desires the power, omniscient, omnipresent power over the woman. He would tell his mistress, the only relationship can make both partners happy is one in which sentimentality has no place and neither partner makes any claim on the life and freedom of the other. So no commitment. That is the flag of Thomas, that no commitment. He is afraid of any serious relationship. Thomas is called, the relationship that Thomas had with the woman is called erotic friendship. What a fetch. And to keep this erotic friendship on proper track, he follows the rule of threes. Either you see a woman 3 times in quick succession, okay, and that never again. You must meet a woman 3 times and then never again. Or you maintain relations over the years but make sure that the rendezvous are at least 3 weeks apart. This is Thomas's rule of threes. Those one believes in Thomas's theory must keep this rule of threes in mind. He tries his best to avoid Teresa, but she is his destiny. Don't think about her. She talks to himself. Don't think about her. I'm sick with compassion. It's good that she's gone. It is not Teresa I need to be free of. It is that sickness, compassion, which I thought I was immune to until she infected me with it. So Thomas always tries to avoid commitment, compassion, sentimentality, love. But Teresa infected him with that disease. So what will happen now? He marries Teresa as he feels emotionally engaged with her. So Thomas feels emotionally engaged. But for Thomas, emotional engagement does not mean physical engagement. Emotional honesty does not mean physical honesty. And love does not mean sex. But he cannot change his way of life. Accordingly, he rented a room for Teresa and her heavy suitcase. He wanted to be able to watch over her, protect her, enjoy her presence, but felt no need to change his way of life. So Thomas will do everything for Teresa, but not wants to change his life. Thomas feels he is emotionally faithful to his wife, but if he remains physically faithful, it will destroy his control over himself. That power thing, that control. That's why even when he loses his job as a doctor and degrades to the position of a window washer, his womanizing habit does not diminish. Teresa, on the other hand, gets frustrated with with her battered heart. He witnesses every day her husband's betrayal and immortality, but she cannot leave him. She has not the power to leave him. She tries to test the same life as Thomas indulges by involving in meaningless sex with a person, but she cannot enjoy it. So this is the contradictory of character of Thomas and Teresa. Thomas can indulge in loveless sex, but Teresa cannot. She tries to seek her solace within the dog, Karenin, but that dog gets cancer and finally died. The novel revolves around another plot, that is Sabina and Franz. Sabina is one of Thomas's mistresses. She is a painter. She is just like Thomas. She also believes in the of being, lightness of living. She also does not want to get trapped in any commitment or any relationship. That's why when Franz, the lover of Sabina, left his wife for Sabina, Sabina also left him and went away. He is and Franz, who is Franz? Franz is Sabina's lover. He is an intellectual professor in Geneva. and he is married to Marie Claude, who Franz. And Franz gets disturbed by the thought of his infidelity to his wife by creating a relationship with Sabina. Franz takes it as a betrayal, extramarital affair. But for Sabina, betrayal is another name of freedom, lightness. And Franz started believing in Sabina's words and his theory, and he just divorced his wife for Sabina and wants to live with Sabina. Franz leaves his wife and determines to live with his life with Sabina, but Sabina leaves him. Both Sabina and Thomas fear commitment. Devastated and frantic, Franz gradually elbows down to his normal life and accepts the reality. After Sabina left him, he just felt devastated and desperate. But gradually he returns back to his own track of life. In his new apartment, he furnishes his new life. He feels he's not so sad. Sabina's sudden departure blows hard on him, but he realizes Sabina's physical presence was much less important than he had suspected. Actually, he was influenced by Sabina's thoughts and ideas. And when Sabina leaves him, at the first he feels very desperate, but gradually he feels that he is at least living with Sabina's ideas. He does not like his wife, and as he leaves his wife, he feels happy. He engages in a relationship with one of his students who loves him in a mundane way, not any superficial love theory. In the meantime, Thomas's son from his early wife contacted him and tries to manipulate him in the political ideology of him. But Thomas denies amiably. Finally, Thomas and Tereza, disturbed by the political turmoil, move to a countryside farm, and there they lost their dog Karenin. I have already told he get infected to cancer. This affects the couple as they try hard to save the dog. In the end, Tereza and Thomas also died in a car accident. The eternal quest for love and possession through the characters. In this novel, we'll find that there is the eternal quest for love and possession. Teresa wants to possess Thomas as her. Thomas wants not to be the possession of anyone. He wants to control himself. The novel centers around four main characters and a dog. Who are the four main characters? Thomas, Teresa, Sabina, Franz, and the dog Karenin. Everyone in this novel tries desperately to claim his or her love and right over the other characters. Thomas tries to claim his freedom over everything, even beyond his love for Teresa. Teresa wants Thomas to stop his clandestine affairs and be faithful to her. Sabina is the counterpart or clone of Thomas. Like Thomas, she also believes in the lightness of existence. That's why no one's love can ever pull her behind it. Thomas or Franz, anyone. She leaves Thomas, she also leaves Franz. Her wish after her death that she will be cremated and scattered to the winds. Her wish, the death wish of Sabina. Sabina's death wish signifies her belief in the lightness of existence. Conversely, the absolute absence of a burden causes man to be lighter than air, to soar into the height, take leave of the earth and his earthly being, and become only half real, his movements as free as they are insignificant. So, and Franz wants Sabina over his wife, Marie Claude. But ultimately, what happened? Marie Claude claimed Franz's dead body. When Franz died in a sudden attack, Marie Claude, Franz went to join a rebellion, a protest, and there he was brutally get hit and he died. And Marie Claude, his wife, just demanded burn his dead body, and he just told that his digression was a midlife crisis. He termed Franz life as a midlife crisis. Actually, Franz loves Marie Claude, and that was just a midlife crisis. So Marie Claude also wants to possess her husband. So every character is running behind the other character to get fulfilled, as if they are crippled soul, wishing to get completed by others. Even Tereza tries to find her solace in the dog Karenin when he cannot get the love from Thomas that she wanted. She named the dog Karenin after Anna Karenina, the great book by Tolstoy, which she used to carry with her. Some striking ideas explored in this novel. Only one life, one option. There is a novel by Matt Haig, The Midnight Library, where the protagonist Nora can live several lives and choose from them. But actually, in our life, what happens? We never can choose. We are not. We don't give. We are not allowed to have any other option than living that one life. It is not a multiple type of question that you are provided 4 lives and check them, which do you like, which do you think fit for you, and then go for it. No, we are not given. We are just prescribed one life, take it or otherwise go. So only one life and one option. The next theme is Hercules' broom. Actually, it is the what is broom? Broom just wipe as a dust, and the character Franz, who leaves his wife for Sabina, actually feels that it's okay. Sabina was just something, the power that instigates him to do that, to live happily. Franz was not happy with his wife. Sabina was just the external power to stimulate that thought within him. So with the Hercules' broom, he just swiped away the negative things, that thing that he did not like. The suitcase. Suitcase is very important here because the suitcase of Tereza has given importance in this novel. It contains the world of Tereza. It was large and enormously heavy. And this heaviness permeates in Thomas as he welcomes Tereza into his life. So Thomas always believes in lightness. Thomas always lives in his life in lightness. But when Tereza comes in Thomas's life with her heavy suitcase, that heaviness in Tereza's suitcase or Tereza's heart transported in Thomas. Tereza's dreams. It is very important. Tereza's dreams. During the day, she tried to believe that Thomas told her and to be as cheerful as she had been before. But her jealousy, thus tamed by day, burst forth all the more savagely in her dreams, each of which ended in a wail he could silence. So Teresa knows about the betrayal and the clandestine affairs of Thomas, but she cannot leave him. But the torments, the feelings, those she suppresses within him, burst out in her dream. Her dreams are horrible and painstaking, particularly the dream that I read about the grave. That she is lying under the grave and cannot sleep there. Her figure is distorted and she is losing her beauty. And Thomas is going away with another woman and coming late. Thomas is telling her to sleep, dear, take rest, but she knows that he's persuaded her in sleeping and taking rest, and in the meantime she will go away with another woman, will not come. So this dream under the grave, it is so much shocking and horrible and so much painful. And from those dreams, we can imagine, we can guess, we can feel that how much agony Teresa used to absorb in him, in her. Again, Teresa's dreams indicate her insecurity, her fear. She feels insecure. In her dreams, she finds herself buried, where Thomas is out for another woman. So, Parmenides and Beethoven. Parmenides, with the Parmenides, the pre-Socratic Greek philosopher, he believes in lightness. Lightness is positive, weight is negative. And with this theory, the novel actually started. And Beethoven is Tereza's fan. Tereza likes Beethoven's, and from Tereza, Thomas also started liking Beethoven's music. Beethoven considered weight as something positive. So there is contradiction between Parmenides and Beethoven. S must saying, S must saying. That is why Thomas has to step back for Teresa. It is Teresa who forces him to buy Beethoven's records. And so you can feel that not only with the suitcase, but also with the Beethoven, the music of Beethoven, Teresa inflicted the heaviness of her life and her thought into Thomas. The themes you have already talked about: control and power. Every character wants to control and power the other character. Love and illusion. Kundera breaks the illusion, the halo surrounding love. The metaphors are dangerous as well as hypothetical assumption of romantic encounters. Heavenly bonds. This stereotype romantical idealism. Romantic encounter, heavenly bonds, etc. Milan Kundera just shattered all these heavenly illusion, romantic illusion surrounding love in his Lightness of Being. Sex and love. Here, Thomas is the representative of the author, I think. Thomas's idea of sex and love is also the idea of author, maybe. And lightness versus weight. The quintessence of the novel exists on the uncertain, elusive nature of meaning and the opposition of lightness and heaviness. The plot is somewhat tricky, even elusive. You cannot fix yourself with the plot. Sometimes you are reading and the plot just go away from your hand. You have just like fragmented storyline. Fragmented pieces are joined together and you have to join them to understand something. Though in deep contemplation style of magic realism, actually the style here it is used, it is magic realism. This style is used here. Sometimes they are going to past, sometimes present, sometimes subplot, sometimes main plot. You will sometimes get just entangled or lost in the plots. But there is a brooding melancholy. Throughout the novel, you will find a brooding melancholy is overshadowing your feelings. Now, Alvina's verdict, I told you that it is from my blog. Actually, I posted also in my blog, that is blogalvina.com. Alvina is my pen name, and if you like, you can check my website. Here you will get the summary and review and discussion about various important literary pieces, and that will be helpful for English literature students. What I have learned from this novel, I am not sure about, but something keeps me in track. Something makes me that I'll not leave it. I'll not leave the book. I'll read it till the end. And a deep contemplation. The ideas, the conflicting, the notion of being, the crisis of existence, the elusive, some fragmented pieces of our heart just keep me fixed in my table and to flip the pages. One thing is not clear to me: why does Sabina leave Franz in abysmal confusion even when he left his wife for her? She at least can confess to him, can make him clear. But anyway, in this, is this a theory of lightness that she does not want to get involved with other characters? The novel seems to be a string of flimsy, shadowy flowers which he cannot touch but feel, can smell. Like the novelist, the eternal ambiguity haunts me. The perpetual pair of difference, dark, night, lightness, weight, the binary, just continuous journey through the binaries. Recurrent activities of life, a living negative life. The continuous clash, cobweb of commitment, relationship, coming and going, these such things, the novel is just like a cobweb. And the shades of thoughts and so much fragmented ideas, the pains, the agonies, the dreams, the lightness, the heaviness of the hearts and the characters. just engulfs you. And I feel that though somewhat they feel negative, yet that engulfing, that plunging thoughts keep the reader in track to go through it. Thank you. Next we will talk about another novel, not of Kundera, I think, by some other novelist.